Welcome back, viewers. Today we share on liberalization, whether it is a successful plan or a failure one. Just we are analyzing based on the past 30 years experience. Anniversaries or occasions that serve two purposes. They are triggered to revive memories of what had occurred years ago, of events that were significant, even shape shifting and mementos. They are also occasion to take stock, to examine whether we have arrived since then, to record our successes and pause our failures. The 30 years of the July 1991 economic liberalization is an occasion to do both. What happened and the immediate impact thereof is fairly uncontested. There is no denying that it is in that month of July the economic face of India was altered dramatically. Caught in a horrible balance of payment crisis, the Narasimha Rao's government was compelled to liberalize the economy, an approach that was reflected most tellingly in its July 24th budget. It could be argued that, as some persuasively have, that the seeds for reforms were shown a little earlier during Prime Minister Chandrasekhar's tenure. But there is no denying that the radical break was fully manifest only in the month of July 3 decades ago. The more important thing is to see what liberalization has done for us 30 years down the line. That we have risen to one of the world's top 5 economics in terms of GDP is not disputed. Also not in dispute is the sharp increase in per capita income, and that the country enjoyed a much higher level of growth since then, particularly in the first couple of decades. What a section of economists, particularly those of an extremely left-leaning nature, contest in is whether liberalization has pulled a significant number of people above the poverty line. One of the problems with consensus on this issue relate to whether the line should be drawn, but there is no doubt that millions have been pulled out of poverty since then. At the same time, it is imperative to remember that many millions and estimates about how many vary widely are still locked in the poverty trap, also as they have in other countries that have liberalized, such as China. Economic inequalities have increased significantly. Of course, the huge spurt in growth in the early years has spluttered now and then, and the bold reforms of 1991 have not been extended to certain areas, especially land and labor, the two political hot potatoes. Some economists believe we have not followed up adequately enough on 1991 and that the work remains half done. It is significant that despite being governed by a single party which is ostensibly pro-reform, the Narendra Modi government has stepped very cautiously in opening the doors wider. The license permit quota Raj may have been largely dismantled, but Indian business still has to negotiate a cucumber sum, an unfriendly plethora of rules and regulations. At the end of the day, GDP growth cannot be an end of in itself. In the longer run, economic reform must deliver on eliminating poverty, reducing inequality, and creation of cost effective delivery of public services. There is a parallel sector that needs urgent reform to create a healthy economic environment. We need to clean up the broken criminal justice system, find ways to drastically reduce judicial delays, and rid both the public and the private sector of corruption and cronyism. Real economic freedom is not merely about empowering people to take economic decisions. It is also about creating the conditions where there is freedom from corruption, inefficiencies, nepotism, and the baneful influence of political patronage. Thank you.